Okay, so now you think you're ready for watercolor. First, let's double check our timeline over here, okay? You watched video number 2, you started your brainstorming, you've sketched your name in your brainstorming bubble or your sketchbook. When you were ready for your final draft, did you follow these steps? Sketch with pencil on your final paper, trace with Sharpie, erase your pencil lines with your chunk eraser. If so, then you're ready for watercolor, okay? So let's go ahead and check these off, all right? And now you're watching video number 3. Awesome. So we want to talk about painting, okay? Over here on this other corner of your learning guide, this tells you what I'm looking for. I put an A+ because these are the things I'll be grading you on. For your drawing elements that you've already completed, did you do a block and bubble letter grid? So that's a total of 2. Did you sketch your ideas in your sketchbook or on your paper? Did you draw your name nicely and take your time? For painting, I'm going to be looking for clean edges in your painting, not messy edges. I really want you to try to stay inside of the Sharpie lines. Nice craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is an artist's word for doing a nice job. Were you neat? Did you take good care to take your time? Do the best that you very could? Are you proud of your work and the quality of your work? The last thing is finished work. I want to see that you can finish your artwork, your creative name. I have some students who run out of time with the background, so that will be your choice whether you want to paint the whole background or just leave it the natural paper color. Okay, so let's get to the painting. Here we go. This is my name that I finished completely. Just wanted you to be able to see. I decided to do lasagna for my M, so it's lots of layers of lasagna with some basil on top. Pizza, my spaghetti fork, my breadstick, my gelato, my ravioli. Just wanted to make sure that you took that chunk eraser and erased out your pencil lines. It just makes your artwork look so much nicer and neater. So make sure you have all of your eraser little crumbs off your workspace. Now you are ready to paint. So let's get started. We are going to be using watercolors. Watercolors are a type of paint that right now without water, they're dry and they won't work. You have to add water to make them work. The key though is water. So you're not getting a big old glob of watercolor paints. You're getting just a little color mixed with your water. So you'll need your set of watercolors. You need to make sure and have a lid with your watercolor set, whether it's connected or not. You need to have a water cup. Remember with our water cups that we just use the yogurt cups and we fill them halfway. You don't need a full cup of water. You also need to have a paper towel handy. This is in case if you need to dry off your brush or if you make a mistake. I'm going to show you how you can fix it. And then you need a variety of brushes. You need one small one for good detail. You need a little bit bigger medium-sized one, and then you might need a big one in case you're filling in your background. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to start with my smaller brush, and you want to, I'm going to start up here. You're going to want to dip your brush first in your water. So our water becomes the way that we make paint. So remember, we hold our paintbrush like our pencil right below that metal part. You don't want it way back here because you don't have control. It'll be much messier. Here, it gets all over your fingers. So artists hold it right here like you hold your pencil. So dip your brush in the water, and then I'm going to start with showing you how to make some gray for my fork. So if your watercolor set does not have a black in it, you want to make sure and ask me for one. I might have it in the cabinet. So I'm going to get a little bit of black. Do you see I'm just twirling around. I'm barely touching the surface of my paint. You're not digging deep. Now, up here, I'm going to put some of that just to double check my color, okay? And to make gray, usually we would add white to black. Well, we don't have white, do we? In watercolors, you're using your paper as your white or your light color. So I added a little bit more water to make this very diluted black. Then I'm going to come over here to my fork and I'm going to start filling it in very carefully. Okay, now for watercolor, you want to be careful because we've talked about wet on wet and wet on dry. Our paper's now dry, so I'm painting it on my dry paper, so that paint's going to stay where I put it. But what would happen if my background was wet right now? It would go and bleed into the background. You just want to always be sure that you are painting where you want your paint, and you don't want to take a chance of it blurring into something else. So when I'm painting, a lot of times I will go around my outside edge first, then I will go and fill in the shapes, bigger shapes. That kind of helps you make sure and stay inside the lines, as well as just really taking my time, encouraging me to go a little bit slower. Okay, so I used a very light black for my gray for my fork. Okay, how about let's do our breadstick. I'm going to rinse out my brush really well. And remember, when you rinse out your brush, you don't want to tap, tap,